The Origin of Life. This is from Ray Comfort's Evidence Study Bible. The theory of biological evolution requires that non-living chemicals somehow developed completely by chance into highly complex living organisms. However, non-living things coming to life is the stuff of science fiction, not science. Louis Pasteur's famous and reputable experiments have demonstrated the law of biogenesis, that spontaneous generation is possible and that life can arise only from another life. Scientists have spent decades trying to create life in the laboratory in carefully controlled experiments and have repeatedly failed. If highly intelligent scientists using the latest, most sophisticated equipment available cannot create a living cell, even with the code and materials of life available to them, how could molecules possibly assemble themselves into living cells through only mindless, undirected, random chance? I say impossible. The famous astronomer and mathematician Sir Frederick Hall calculated the possibility of the spontaneous generation of life. No matter how large the environment one considers life, this is what he says. No matter how large the environment one considers life cannot have a random beginning. Troops of monkeys thundering away at random on typewriters could not produce the works of Shakespeare, for the practical reason that the whole observable universe is not large enough to contain the necessary monkey hordes and necessary typewriters, and certainly not the waste paper baskets required for the deposition of wrong attempts. The same is true for living materials. The likelihood of the spontaneous formation of life from inanimated matter is 1 to a number with 40,000 noughts after it. It is big enough to buy Darwin and the whole theory of evolution. There was no primeval soup, neither on the planet nor any other, and if the beginnings of life were not random, they must therefore have been produced of purposeful intelligence. In Darwin's time, it was assumed that simple cells were just primitive blobs of photoplasm, so it wasn't too hard for scientists to envision them assembled by random chance, because cells cannot be seen with the naked eye. Scientists mistakenly thought that chemistry of life was simple. But with today's sophisticated microscopes, molecular biology has shown how vastly complex even a simple cell actually is. That makes sense. Molecular biologist Michael Denton, an evolutionist, acknowledges. Although the tiniest bacterial cells in a seemingly small weight less than 10 minus 12 grams each, I don't know how you read that, each is in effect a veritable micro-miniaturized factory containing thousands of exquisitely designed pieces of intricate molecular machinery, made up altogether of 100,000 million atoms. Somebody needs to give me some oil in our brain. For more complicated than any machinery built by man and absolutely without parallel in the non-living world. Sorry, no, I didn't concentrate on that. Thousands of exquisitely designed pieces of intricate molecular machinery made up altogether of 100,000 million atoms. Oh, that's a lot. One little cell. Far more complicated than any machinery built by man and absolutely without parallel in the non-living world. Okay, so that's what he said. Not only are there no experiments demonstrating how life could have come into being, but the more scientists research for answers, the more they are astounded at the complexity they find. Oh my goodness, so it like never ends. It's like the universe. And the more the evidence confirms that life could not have arisen purely by chance. Geochemist Jeffrey Badda from the San Diego Scripps Institute points out the evolutionist's ongoing dilemma concerning this question. So this is what he says. Today we leave the 20th century. Today we leave the 20th century. We still face the biggest unsolved problem. That we had when we entered the 20th century. How did life originate on Earth? You mean the scientists haven't come to any conclusion? I don't know that. In 2001, PBS aired the TV series Evolution, in which they put together all the best information they could find on to demonstrate the case of evolution in the Washington Post online forum. Producer Richard Hudson was asked, what are some of the largest questions which are still unanswered by evolution theory? He named several items in his response, but the item topping his list is very telling. This is the top of his list. The origin of life. There is no consensus at all here. Lots of theories, little science. That's one of the reasons we didn't cover it in the series. The evidence wasn't very good. Na, 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 na. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. We can appreciate his honest admission that all they have is theories, no specific proof. If they had an evidence at all, they would have presented it, of course. There's no evidence supporting the claim that life arose by natural cause, because life has a supernatural cause. Yes. Adapted from How to Know God Exists. Okay, so this piece here is from that. There is not a shred of objective evidence to support the hypothesis that life began in an organic soup here on Earth. Imagine. So why do biologists indulge in unsubstantiated fantasies in order to deny that they're so patently obvious? What is so patently obvious? That the 200,000 amino acid chains and hence life did not appear by chance. That is what, there's a quote by Frederick Hall. Oh, splendid, splendid. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Creator of the universe.